Right, this video was intended to show you how to diagnose and troubleshoot the window mechanism on this V70. As it happened, I got really lucky and I managed to restore the window operation just by disconnecting and reconnecting the motor. So it's not exactly going to show you any in-depth troubleshooting or diagnosis procedures, but it does act as a bit of a resource for where certain components are and how to get the door card apart. So hopefully it'll help you out. As always, we're on the V70 2001. This time the passenger door windows got stuck down. Will not operate up or down or do anything, make any noises with either the master switch or the independent door switch. I'm going jumping straight in at the deep end with this. I'm taking off the door card to see if there's any power arriving at the motor and if the switch can be disconnected, or one way or another get this window back up so that I can at least drive it around until a permanent solution can be found. First up, we're going to need to knock in these pins, these rivets at the side here. I'll try and locate them with my camera. There we go. Now these plastic rivets got a button in the centre, and using a suitable tool, this time I'm using just a Torx drive bar there, and I'm just going to push that in the centre, and it only goes in probably 3 or 4 mil. You just repeat that for all of the plastic rivets around the edge. To excuse the focus, it's out a bit there. And there's about 8 to 10 of those all the way around the inside of the door card, and then proceed to the next step. So forgive me for the lack of light here, but basically I've knocked all the rivet pins in, and then I've moved the door card away slightly from the door frame, and that releases the pins and the rivets as one, and they can be reset to the out position once you've got them out. So you push the outer rivet back in on installation, and then you push the centre pin down inside until it's flush, and that will re-secure the panel when you come to rebuild it. Keep all your stuff safe inside the car. Put a mat or something down underneath the door when you're working on it. Stops you losing the panel pins. And then onto the door handle securing point. Get a small screwdriver under the edge here. Always try and go somewhere where it's not going to be seen. Prise it away gently at the edges. Use a bit of tissue or card or something behind there to avoid any scratches to the trim. Pull this off once it's free, and then you've got a couple of Torx 25 screws, one in there and one at the top. Take them out. Okay, so with the 2 Torx 25 screws out, just move to the top here. This corner panel, it sits next to the mirror. Just pull that down around the edges with your fingers. That's just held on with some poppers. As you can see, those pegs just sit inside a couple of rubber sockets here. There's 3 of them all together. 1, 2, 3, and that just pulls away nicely. I'll try and set the camera up so you can see the removal of the trim. So move the panel away at the base of the trim, and then lift up. Panel is free. If you look around the back here, we've got one-time speaker connector. We've got a green connector on the underside of the passenger side door module, a white connector on the side of the door module, and the door handle cable connection, which is literally just 2 clips either side, one here, one here. Just move them apart, and that comes away nicely. Same for reinstallation. Once those plugs are off, you can move the door card away. Now just got to get this foam panel off. Try and get it all off in one piece. It just makes it tidier when it goes back together. Easier to use a blade around the edge of this. So with the foam insert out, we can now access the electric motor, which sits behind this Volvo embossed stamp. And get you a look down there. There's the motor with a connector plug. There's the drive mechanism on the teeth, which carries the window carrier to the top. Now to disconnect that connector, you're going to need to squeeze two tabs, one on the top and one on the bottom. I'll show you that in a moment. Here's the top tab and here's the lower tab. You need to squeeze those together and they'll come past their respective wedges. Now we've got a 6-pin connector on the back here. The main connectors for driving the motor. Here's your 6-pin connector. The main wires for driving the motor are your purple and the red and black, which sit in the lowermost pin sockets in this plug. On this one it's terminal 6 and terminal 3. Now on my vehicle I plugged all the door panel back in, so the module was all set up as it should, and I checked for power at this connector on pins 3 and on pin 6. I found I was getting nothing, so I replugged this back in and the window just started operating of its own accord, and it now seems to be fixed. So whether it's just a poor connector or some kind of misconfiguration somewhere, I don't know, but that's what's fixed mine, is just disconnecting and reconnecting it. Now to give you a bit of oversight as to how this operates, I'm going to back pin one of these connectors with it all plugged in and show you how it operates. The window motor up and the window motor down. Basically these are reversed in polarity for each operation. So for instance, to the window to go up, the purple may be powered up and the red black would be grounded, and that would drive the motor up, and then the polarity would be reversed to get the window to come down. These remaining 4 connectors, remaining 4 pins, they've got 5-volt reference feeds to them, or for at least for 2 of them. So I'm guessing that there's some kind of position sensors that are within the motor module. But for the main driving of the door, if you need to power yours up independently of the vehicle switches, then I would connect jumper leads to pin 3, pin 6 on the motor itself, which are the lowermost pins in that image there, and then just power up one and ground the other. And if that takes the window down further, you just need to reverse your polarity, power the other one and ground the opposite pin. Okay, to qualify what I was saying about the purple wire and the red black wire, I'm now back pinned into the purple wire. The motor is connected, the door module is connected, and the window is in the down position. I'm now going to operate the window up, and we should see 12 volts appear on that purple line. I'm connected my meter to a known good ground on the black, and I'm connected my red meter lead to the back of the purple wire on the connector. Window going up. Window stationary and the power is disrupted. So with the window going back down, we'll see here is just a bit of ghost voltage left over on the earth side. So you only get the voltage when the window is going up on the purple wire. Going up again. Next I'll back pin the red and black and show you identical results for going down. Okay, window's in the fully up position. I'm now back pinning the black and red wire. Window going down. 12 volts appears on the black red wire. Now if you're not as lucky as me and the window doesn't burst into life when you disconnect and reconnect, you're going to be committed to removing the window glass from the carrier as a temporary repair. Now to do that, you need to access the carrier clips. This part here, the aluminium arm, is connected to your motor mechanism, and this slider cartridge is what is bonded to the window. You'll need to pull the horseshoe clip away from the blue clip at this end, and there'll be a ball joint and socket here which you can separate the arm from the slider. This one's actually pulled out, and it should look like that when it's fully engaged. The other side is behind the black access panel here, which you can just unclip and pull back, and you can see the second one, and the same thing has to happen there. And then you can move it to the top of the window frame and wedge it with some wood or other piece of apparatus.